Have you ever thought, what if this is all just a dream?
The number you have dialed is not available at present. Please leave your message after the beep.
Hey, it's me. I just wanted to let you know I miss you. I know we haven't spoken in a while and things have been weird. But I still think about you a lot. Do you think about me?
The number you have dialed is not available at present. Please leave your message after the beep.
I just wanted to let you know I miss you. I know we haven't spoken in a while and things have been weird. But I still think about you a lot. Do you think about me? I just wanted to let you know. Do you think about me?
All right, we are live here for round 10 here in Tier 2 at Hungary. Loading into short qualifying as we speak. This will be a traditional race week. So just the typical short qualifying 50% race here. I think we have about, I actually didn't catch the lobby, probably about 14 guys in here. So pretty solid solid turnout for a Thursday night here. And as per always, we will go ahead and pull up the current standings, which, if I'm not mistaken, I believe the Constructors has actually heated up quite a bit in the past week or so. So while this loads up, I believe we're still in the loading screen here. We'll go ahead and pull up the standings as they are coming into the race today. Born Ready does hold on to the first place position with 143. He actually did extend that out last week, I believe, with the second place finish. Jazzbo moves up a couple spots, it looks like, into P2 at 113. Only 1 point behind is Captain Clapjack in third. And then, of course, we have Johnny Damon making leaps and bounds, moving up the grid order here into fourth. Now it's 77 points, 2 ahead of Straggly Rex, who's holding the 5th position now after being dropped down below Johnny Damon. 3 wins in a row coming into today, so we'll see if he can make that 4 perfect race weeks in a row. Peak Hour also moves down into 6th, where he holds 68 points. And then below them, we also have 47, 46, and 44. We have Agog, Late Bloomer, and AK, who are all very close. Excuse me, actually a 43 and a 42 as well. So really close there in the middle field. Of course, we do have our Jazbo, Captain Claptrap, both going to be fighting for points, looking to get closer to Born Ready's benchmark at 143. And then, as I mentioned earlier, we also have quite a race, or quite a close race here for the constructors. Alpine now at 148, close behind Red Bull into the 144 spot, and Kicksauber, it would be the, I always make this mistake, this would be the, oh, they actually did fix it. Oh, well, never mind. So it is the Kicksaubers. I just saw the Alfa Romeo logo there, but they're at 143, only a point behind Red Bull, and Williams at 123, so not far behind either. So really close across the board here. It's going to be fun to see how this all shakes out, especially with some new drivers joining the grid, as we saw earlier, as well as some returning drivers that we've seen throughout the season. But without further ado, we'll go ahead and jump onto track here. If I would have to guess, it would be Elon Rogan who's going to be the first out on track. In fact, it looks like he's the only one who is on a hot lap currently. And he is. He got out right away, no surprise there. And we'll take a look at his first flyer here. Hungary, personally, one of my favorite places to race, or at least a time trial. Really fun driver's track, but a little bit more difficult when it comes to overtaking here. There really is only one DRS zone across the start-finish line there. So it's going to be really important to put up a good qualifying performance to really maximize your odds here tonight. And I'm sure all the drivers are well aware of that. So this is going to be a pretty important qualifying session. It is a very short track, so you should have no problem getting 3 hot laps in there, unless you're so choose to only come out towards the end, maybe take 1 or 2 laps on a flyer. But looks like most of these guys will be headed out. We only have about 5 guys still sitting in the pits. And Elon Rogan will be the one to go ahead and give us our early benchmark for tentative pole position here. He comes across with a 1:16.9. Meanwhile, we have Johnny Damon starting up his hot lap, it looks like. Jazbo may have bailed out. It looks like he's pretty low on ERS, so I'm not sure. Maybe he hit a track limits penalty or violation there. Might have had his track time deleted. AK is also finishing up his hot lap. I believe there might be a Williams in front of him, unless that's just Late Bloomer on his out lap there. So Agog's starting up his. AK comes across with a 1:17.01, very close behind Elon, but he is going to go ahead and fall behind currently the only second driver to finish his hot lap. Agog appears to have started another hot lap there. He is really low on battery, but he is going to keep on hot lap here. It looks like he's flying. Dio's going to go ahead and get out of the way. This will be Late Bloomer. He'll be starting up a lap. Meanwhile, we do have Johnny Damon. These laps are going quick. I forgot how short of a track this is. Johnny Damon goes ahead and puts up the 1:15.7, puts him well out in front, so he is going to have the tentative pole position to start the evening tonight. AK 3000, 1:17.01, I believe we already reviewed that. Peak hour goes on 1:17.34, and we do have Clapjack just comes across the line with a 1:15.9, so not too far behind Johnny Damon here. I mean, those tenths are going to be hard to find, but he's not out of the picture just yet. Agog goes a 1:15.9 as well. 9:34 just ahead of Captain Clapjack's 1:15.94. So really close here down the board. Late Bloomer 1:16.2. Keep an eye on Gaudio here, as it looks like he's going to be the next one to put up a lap unless any of these drivers have elected to run back-to-back hot laps. believe that would be turn 5, and then we have turn 6 and 7 here. They're probably the slowest corners, or at least the slowest chicane there around the whole course, and it is certainly a place to find quite a bit of time. He does go off track there. I'd imagine that time might be deleted. It looks like he may have been given the benefit of the doubt there. If you don't gain any time by leaving the track, sometimes you can get away with it there. Slight lockup, but a pretty good exit. I believe that is going to be turn 12 and a 13 here. And the final turn 14 to wrap the lap up. It would appear that his lap did not get deleted, as he is going to go ahead and finish this one up. He goes a 1:16.8. I know Dio is certainly a little bit racy these past, at least the past week that we commentated over him, so I imagine he's going to be looking to improve there. So Tiger Wood, off the golf course and onto the racetrack here, is going to be finishing up a hot lap as well in the Kick Sauber. Maybe not, excuse me. He's going to go ahead and dive into the pits. Did not put up a time there, so I'm not quite sure if he got a lap deleted there or is just going to give it another go with a fresh set of softs. Dirty Asians on a flyer here. Born Ready is going to cross the line with a 1:15.54, so there you go. Another fastest lap of the day. That puts him about 3/10 or 2/10 ahead of Johnny Damon and another 4/10 ahead of Agog. It's the current benchmark as it stands. We'll take a look at Dirty Asian. It looks like he's going to be wrapping up his hot lap here. Coming around to turn 13. Another really slow corner. You can find quite a bit of time if you can just maximize your grip there and get a good launch. Turn 14, same story. He's going to go ahead and put up a 1:19.1. Doesn't really do too much to help him there. He does have a bit of battery left, and he is still on hot lap. He might be going for a consecutive hot lap there. So it's like Clapjack went around again. He went a 1:15.62 this time around. Still not quite enough for P1, but he is in the mix. Johnny Damon, our favorite coming into the day, he's going to have to fight his way to get this pole. Certainly not going to be an easy task ahead, as he has a few tenths to drop already to make up for that lap set by Born Ready earlier in the session. The yellow flag. I think someone might have just been hopping out of the way there. So now we have Optimus Tea Time on his first hot lap of the day. I just want to double check LK. Looks like he's going to be finishing up his first lap as well. Already have a Red Bull in the top 10 here, but LK doesn't manage to get it done. He's going to end up P12 for now. 1:17.1. Just double checking here, see if we got anyone else. Yeah, looks like Clapjack maybe going for another lap here. I believe he's already done 2, so it wouldn't surprise me there if he's going to go ahead and hop back in the pits. So we'll hop back on board with Optimus Tea Time. He'll be the next to cross the line. Through Sector 2, he puts up a 57.0. Looks good from the onboard here so far, at least the Sector 3 we've witnessed on stream here. It was a 1:19.5. May have had some difficulties there earlier in the lap, and it would also appear that lap was deleted anyhow. So, Optimus Tea Time still without a time on the board. Tiger Woods going to be taking an out lap, going to get a time on the board for him. Born Ready gets out and he does his second hot lap of the day, 1:15.379. So he extends that lead out even further, now into the low 1:15s. Just going to put some pressure on Clapjack, Damon, Agog, and any of the other guys at the top here who are going to be looking to get that pole position. That's one hell of a lap from Born Ready. We'll keep an eye on his onboard if he comes out for a third. There's still plenty of time left in the session. Looks like Agog's going to be starting up his hot lap. Meanwhile, Straggly Rex might need to get out of the way here. So he's going to go ahead and dive to... maybe not. He's actually going to keep up on his lap as well. Hopefully he gets out of the way here. There he goes. So Agog, one of the other out of the 4 guys that are in the 115s. He is at the 115.9, but as it stands now, we'll take a look at his split, see where he's looking. Avoids hitting either of those curves, gets a nice launch out of the exits. I believe, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head, I think that's turn 6. Keeps it within the white lines here. Looking good. He's down 900, so he is improving. But as it stands, not enough to move himself on the grid. Unless he puts together a really nice Sector 3 here. Keeps it really tight to the apex. Down to his final corner here. Will he have enough to improve? He actually does not improve, so that last sector there was not enough to get it done, but he still sits in P4 as it stands. Straggly Rex, looks like they're just now starting a hot lap. They were quite a ways behind there. I know they were getting out of the way for Agog, so that must have been their out lap. We'll keep an eye on them. Tiger Woods going to be looking to put up his first hot lap of the day. Goes a little wide around turn 14 there, but he keeps it on track. It's going to be a 1:19.7. Puts him into P14 for his first lap of the day. Straggly Rex on a hot lap. Now he is not improving as it stands. He's now 2/10, slower than his original time. It looks like he may just be bailing out of this one. I can't quite tell. He's going to go ahead and keep the ERS activated. Although he is slowing down quite a bit. I'd imagine he's going to be looking to get another go at it here before the session timer comes to 0. AK on a hot lap, just starting up there. I believe that'd be their third. Maybe it's their second. Just doing a quick check around the track here. See if there's anybody else. There's going to be Optimus Teton. He's on his out lap. Late Bloomer starts another hot lap. Now, our top 4 are currently sitting in the pits. I'd imagine they're going to wait till that timer ticks down below 3 minutes to get back out there, get the maximum track evolution possible for their final laps of the day. But Late Bloomer and Jasbo both will be starting up hot laps, I believe. I know Late Bloomer certainly is. We'll be keeping an eye on him. At the 1:16.2, he's got plenty of time to lose here, and he's already down about 150 hundredths, or 1.5 tenths there. So great Sector 1 from Late Bloomer. We'll see if he can pull together a nice lap here, get into the 115s. He's on pace to do so. So far, the lap's certainly looking nice. I love Hungary for the high downforce setup. The car is on rails. It's just a matter of keeping it under control, keeping it within track limits. He is down 2/10, so excellent lap so far. He's eyeballing that 115 benchmark here, but can he get above that 115.9 of Agog? We will see. I can imagine it's going to be quite close. Good exit out of turn 14 there, and Late Bloomer goes to the 1:16.07. He does drop down. He doesn't improve on the track, though. He's at a P5, so he's going to be on the 3rd row as it stands. We'll keep an eye on Clapjack. He decides to go ahead and get that car out on track. I don't know if he's going to want to do 2 out laps here just to warm the tires a little bit, or he's going to go for it right away, but we'll keep an eye out on him. I can imagine we'll see Johnny Damon heading out here shortly as well. Peak Hour is on a flyer. We'll see what kind of pace that they're putting up here currently. They sit at a 1:16.6. They drop down 2/10, so they're on an improvement. I can imagine the track will be feeling pretty good late in the session here, but only about 3 minutes left to go. Goes really wide, might have just gotten disqualified there. I'm not quite sure, but either way, it's going to hurt his time. We'll see if he can pull it back together here around turn 14. Looks like he's going to go ahead and bail on that. And here we have Late Bloomer finishing up his lap as well. I didn't quite catch his split, so we're going to have to take a look at this. But he is committed to finishing the lap with a 1:15.905. That puts Late Bloomer in P5, just over Agog there by just 300ths. Clapjack is indeed going to actually take an extra lap to warm those tires, as I suspected earlier, or he may have bailed out of that lap. Damon makes his way out for his final lap. Born Ready still sitting in the pits, but he's got a little bit of time here. He's going to be cutting it close unless he's comfortable enough with that time to go ahead and wait out the rest of the session. I would be surprised, though. I'd imagine we're going to see some improvements here. So Clapjack will be first of the top 5 to get their hot lap going. So keep an eye out on him. Late Bloomer's already pretty low on fuel, it looks like. Not sure if he's going to have enough time to get another lap in unless he plans on trying to squeak out one more with whatever fuel he has remaining. So back to Captain Clapjack here while Johnny Damon finishes up his outlap. We'll take a look at his final time of the day. Looks good so far, though he does have a little bit of a slide there. May have rode that curb just a little too aggressively. I'm not sure just where that's going to put him relative to his prior time there, but that could certainly hurt. He is down 4/10 still, though, so despite that little slide, he is absolutely flying here. And he's going to be eyeballing that pole position that Born Ready currently holds, the 1:15.3. Born Ready still has not left the pit lane, so he might just be calling it a session and content with that 1:15.3, which might come back to haunt him here. And there you have it. Clapjack with a 1:15.13 knocks Born Ready down to P2. Born Ready's not leaving those pits. Meanwhile, Johnny Damon's also on a flyer, 2/10 down, so he's pacing well for an improvement, but not enough to move past Born Ready or Clapjack just yet. No, there you go. Now he's down 3/10, almost 4/10 there. He might also knock Born Ready down to the second row on the grid, so we'll wait and see. Ooh, a little bit of a slide there around turn 13. Certainly pushing the car as hard as he can. I can imagine he'll look for an improvement. That might be not an improvement there. Looks like that last sector really hurt him. So as it stands, Clapjack will take pole position. Looks like Agog's going to be wrapped up for the day. Peak Hour also done. Straggly Rex looks like he's done for the day as well. Dio is on a hot lap. He's got only about 15% battery left. Let's see what he can pull off here. Going through Sector 2 here, we'll get an idea if he's on an improvement or not. Committed to the lap, he's going to go ahead and actually he's a bit slower than his prior time at 1:16.8. Might be able to find a few more tenths here in the final sector. Looks like it might have been track limit violation as well, but I can't quite tell. It doesn't look like it is. So Dio does not improve either. Looks like tea time is wrapped up for the day. So I believe this is our final order. I don't think we're missing anyone else. So the main takeaway, as far as I'm concerned, is that Born Ready didn't go out for another lap, and that's going to cost him that pole position. Clapjack with the 1:15.1. So we'll see the two that have been fighting all season long for these race wins taking the top 2 positions on the grid. Johnny Damon, though, certainly one to keep an eye on with his race pace. We'll be looking out to see where he ends up after the first turn, and if his race pace will look any better than that qualifying time. Now, don't get me wrong, 1:15.7 certainly isn't a bad time, but still almost a full half a second down from Born Ready, and then another 0.6 down from Clapjack. So beyond the top 3, though, we do have a very, very close grid order, as we have 5 drivers in the 1:16s, and then we have another, let's see here, well, actually only one in the 1:17s, very low 1:17, really close. LK right behind Gaudio. And then there's a few guys in the 119s and a 132. I'd imagine that time just may not have that. I didn't see who that was, but they probably just didn't get a lap completed in time without any sort of track limits there. So as per usual, looks like we're going to go ahead and do a 3-minute break, let the drivers configure their setups. I don't know what the weather forecast was for this evening. It did look a little cloudy here for qualifying. I wasn't sure if there would be any change in weather, but it did remain dry throughout. We'll take a look to see if we have the same weather here for the race. Hungary, again, such a high downforce track. Really wouldn't hurt your setup too much if it were to rain, but it would definitely make it even harder than it already is to get some overtakes done. Let's just double check. We'll keep an eye out on the race strategies this evening. As per usual, everyone's going to go ahead and start on the mediums, but most of these guys probably haven't adjusted their strategy just yet. So we'll keep an eye on that. I'd imagine we're going to be looking at a medium to potentially soft strategy. I'm actually not sure the degradation in F124. I don't think I've actually raced Hungary even once since this game is released. So not quite sure what that's going to look like over the 50% race length, but we'll keep an eye on the strategies and see what the drivers elect to do. So for Clapjack, this will be a great opportunity to once again cut down Born Ready's lead in the championship here. Now he's only down, looks like 30 points currently, which does seem like a large number, but all it takes is 1 or 2 bad races from Born Ready and maybe 1 or 2 great races from Clapjack, and that lead could be cut down to 0 here. So either way, he's going to be looking to finish ahead of Born Ready, despite how the rest of the grid order falls. To make up some of those points and close that gap a little bit further. Jasbo also sitting at 30 points behind, or he's actually 30 points behind, and Clapjack is 31. So Jasbo sitting in P4 is also going to be looking to attack Born Ready tonight. Johnny Damon, on the other hand, is just been ascending the rankings with his last 3 race wins. Starting from 30, does have some work to do. It's going to be hard to make those overtakes here at Hungary, but not impossible, and with some good race pace and maybe a little bit of luck sprinkled in there, you can certainly get it done. Late Bloomer, on the other hand, in the Williams here, who's sitting in P5 to start the race, is currently in 8th overall at 46 points, within striking distance of Agog, who he does start ahead of just by 1 position. So these two will be battling it out as well for that P7 position. And Peak Hour, who holds the 6th overall position, starts behind both of them. So midfield here between P5 and P7, very tight in the driver standings. They'll be fighting it out. And that actually also includes Straggly Rex. Straggly Rex sitting at P5 with 75 points, only about 7 points ahead of Peak Hour. So all 4 of those guys certainly have a lot to win, a lot to gain, and a lot to lose. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Clapjack, I don't recall you placed any bets, man. Otherwise, send me your Cash App. But I gave you pretty good odds. I think that was pretty fair. I think I gave Clapjack plus 150 for pole. That's not too bad. That's pretty fair odds. Damon under 400, I believe. I was just making these up. I have no rhyme or reason to any of my logic. Plus 150. Any win one bet is profit, but it's pretty good. Pretty good. You could have thrown me $10. There you go. You would have $15. Clapjack's odds, they're going to start going down, man. It's not going to be profitable anymore. You have to start tanking, dude. Then your odds would be better. Or worse. I guess better or worse depending on how you look at it. Damon did come out and say that he's not a qualifying guy. Should have taken that more seriously. Still a good time. Still P3, but race pace is his strong suit for sure. So here we go. I missed the start there. I didn't see any change of tires, so I was assuming we were still waiting. But they are underway here. Optimus Tea Time is shown in first. I'm not sure what's going on there. Captain Clapjack does retain the lead here as we view them from the helicopter cam. Born Ready in P3, P2. I'm not sure what's going on with this order here. Johnny Damon holds the P3 position, followed by Peak Hour, AK, Straggly, Rex, Elon. Someone has fallen down quite a few places. It looks like it was Matthew. I'm not sure if there was an incident there. They're going to have to make up some positions. Tiger Wood falls into P16. The order does finally shake out here. Mike Gaudio gets the move done around Dirty Asian. So keep an eye on the lead pack here. Jasbo here, no interval showing. I'm not sure what's going on there. We do have a yellow flag. It looks like it might be Dirty Asian. Something happened there. He's fallen down into P16. Doesn't have any visible damage on the car as I can tell. But he does now fall down to P16. He's going to have some work to do to make up those spots. But Clapjack does hold the P1 position off the gun there, so he's looking good to start the race. He goes ahead and puts up the fastest lap, 1:22.4 off the cold start. Got some really odd bugs going on in this lobby. Now it's showing Optimus Tea Time is ahead by a minute 20. I'm not quite sure where they're getting those numbers from. Jesbo has found the rear end of Johnny Damon. He is riding all over the back here, only about 3/10 down, but this train all the way from P1 down to P6, very, very close. Go ahead and get up some of our information here. So as it stands, so it's Optimus Tea Time, and again, he is up to 8th. I'm not sure what the interval is telling us here. It's a little confusing, but he has moved up into 8th currently. So he has moved up 6 places from his starting position. He had an excellent start. Agog down 1 under Peak Hour, but these two are keeping it close here. Agog has fallen down now by over a second from Peak Hour. Peak Hour getting a good launch. AK down, excuse me, he was down 2 positions. He just gets passed by Straggly Rex, it looks like. So, biggest mover here is Optimus Tea Time. Otherwise, all else remains pretty consistent down the board. The top 4 have not moved an inch from the start here. Jasbo dives onto the inside of turn 1 there. Does he have the exit to get it done? He goes wheel to wheel with Late Bloomer. Bloomer locks up on the inside, but he's going to get it done. That's going to actually hurt Jasbo. Jasbo almost gave up the position there to... Or no, Late Bloomer doesn't get it done. Excuse me. Jasbo gets around. So these 3 going wheel to wheel. It includes Johnny Damon out front as well. We'll keep an eye on these guys. They're going to be battling for the vast majority of this race, I'd imagine. Agog now, though, has fallen down by 2 seconds from Peak Hour. So there is a gap starting to form there. We do have another yellow flag. May have been one of the Mercedes. Was it AK or his teammate Matthew? We're not quite sure. I saw them dropping down a little bit in the order there. Go ahead and turn this off. It gets kind of confusing. Now, Born Ready and Clapjack are now 2 seconds ahead of Johnny Damon. So Johnny Damon not quite showing the race pace off the gun here that we're used to seeing. He's now fallen well out of DRS range, and he's going to allow Born Ready and Clapjack to continue working their way forward. Now 2.3 seconds. And behind Johnny Damon, he has an entire train here, including his teammate Late Bloomer, and sandwiched in between is Late Bloomer, all very, very, Jasbo, all very, very close. Peak Hour keeping in the mix as well. So Optimus Tea Time with a good start there. Looks like he's fallen to P10, so still within the points, still has a great start relative to his grid order. or to where he started in the grid order, but has fallen back down a little bit there. So as I mentioned before, this is a notoriously difficult track to overtake on. It's almost like its own miniature version, not even miniature, but circuit version of Monaco, in that qualifying is incredibly important. You do have a DRS zone. It is relatively short, and the track is pretty narrow even for a circuit. So it's going to be interesting to see who's going to be able to make some moves. It's going to require a really, really good exit out of turn 14 here. First one in contention for an overtake would be Born Ready here. He does get the DRS, but again, very, very short DRS straight there, so he's not going to have enough track to get it done. But I'm sure he'll be happy to sit back behind Clapjack, maybe preserve some fuel, and extend that lead out in front of Johnny Damon. It looks like AK does go ahead and dive into the pits. We'll take a quick look at what he's doing. I'm not sure if he took damage there. I did see one of the Mercedes get into an incident. I'm not sure if that involved damage. It looks like there is no wing present with the pit crew, so he is just going to go ahead and switch on a set of hard tires. I can imagine maybe those mediums just weren't quite working out for him. He's going to be looking to do now 35 laps on those hard tires. We'll see just how well that works out for him, and if he gets the benefit of a safety car here. He does have a penalty. Well, I didn't quite catch what that was. It might have been a cutting the corner penalty, which is interesting. You don't usually see that, but it's only a 3-second penalty. Tiger Woods just picks up a 3-second as well. So back to the front of the group here. Clapjack now extends out his lead to over half a second. Born Ready still looming large behind him. Johnny Damon has cut it down to about 2 seconds here, keeping it close. Pretty consistent on pace. It looks like he's losing some time on the straight. I know Born Ready does have the DRS. That's probably why we're seeing that interval increase there. But otherwise, he's holding a pretty consistent pace to the leaders. He just doesn't quite have the DRS advantage that Born Ready and the drivers behind him do. Turn 4 up here, everyone knows, is a notorious turn. You gotta be careful with the track limits. That's where we'll probably see a lot of these track limits start to emerge. Really high speed left-hander there, and essentially it's completely blind corners, so you have to really either, obviously practice the track, but you're going to have a good sense of just how fast you're going and how much grip you have on those tires to keep it within the white lines. Jesbo now just falls out of DRS range from Johnny Damon. Meanwhile, Johnny Damon does cut down the lead to Born Ready down to a 1.5 seconds, so he's on the attack right now. It seems like those tires are starting to work for him. He does lock up a little bit there. But he's now back under that 2-second margin, and he's going to be looking to get into attack mode as soon as possible before those two get too far out in front there. Born Ready's going to get all up the rear diffuser of Clapjack, but again, just doesn't quite have enough track space to get it done. There is a second DRS zone, I forgot to mention here, out of turn 1. But again, very, very short. Not a great opportunity for overtaking unless you can somehow find a window on the inside of the track, but he doesn't quite get done there. So, barring any mistakes from Clapjack, it's going to be difficult for him to get it done anywhere other than that turn 1 or turn 2 end of DRS zones there. I've seen crazier things happen, but it'll be really difficult here. It's one of the reasons I know some people don't like this track. It's barely wide enough to go 2 cars wide, let alone make any overtakes pretty much anywhere else on the track. But it is a fun one to drive. It's a fun one on time trial. Again, very high downforce. Probably relatively low degradation with the high downforce setup is my guess. So I wouldn't be surprised to see these guys go medium to soft. But again, we'll keep an eye on them. We'll see what they do. Of course, there are some pretty high-speed corners that might, wear those outside left tires. AK picks up a penalty as well, so their bottom 4 drivers now all collecting penalties. AK is up to 6 seconds. And we do see a move. Born Ready gets it done there. So that was into turn 1. There was indeed enough space. Got a little close there, but got it done cleanly. The DRS gave him just enough speed to take the inside line there and get the job done. Clapjack will be looking to essentially make the same move on him, I'd imagine, the next couple laps. We'll take a quick look at that replay there. A little bit of a lag there, so it's kind of hard to see. It almost looked like Clapjack wanted to defend the inside, but had to give way as Born Ready had already made his move onto the inside there. But they kept it clean, and Born Ready gets it done from the inside. Now, meanwhile, while these two fight, we do have Johnny Damon now back in the party. Under the second gap there, so he's going to be within DRS range. And Captain Clapjack now, not only does he have to worry about catching up to Born Ready, but he's also got an eager Johnny Damon looking to get back in the fight for the race win here. Things are certainly going to get interesting. It's going to also be crucial here to see just who's running what level of downforce on the cars. We'll take a look at some of their top speeds here on the final straight after the lap to get an idea of who's going to have that advantage when it comes to getting these overtakes done. Down the remainder of the grid order, the other closest driver to striking distance here would be Late Bloomer on the rear end of Jazzbo. He's holding off about 5/10 there between the two. Elon Rogan also just under half a second there to Matthew in P12. Those guys will be fighting to get into the points. Agog also finds himself within DRS, but he's just barely holding on. He's about 8 or 9 tenths there behind Peak Hour. So he's going to be looking to make moves. We'll just take a look at some of these guys coming down through the straight. Looks like we saw another move by Clapjack there. Pretty unconventional spot to get it done, but there you go. Captain Clapjack takes the lead once again. He may have caught Born Ready napping there and went ahead and took the position when the door opened for him. Will he be able to defend it, though, now that he has Born Ready very close behind and Johnny Damon as well? Johnny Damon's going to take a peek on the inside. No one's going to be able to get it done just yet, but these three are now all within a second of each other. Late Bloomer makes a move around Jazzbo, so we are seeing some movement here down that turn one straight. So the two Williams are now in P3, P4. Definitely a good week for them as it stands. Jazzbo's not fallen. He's not deterred whatsoever, though. He's only about a tenth behind Late Bloomer. He's going to be looking to go ahead and take back that P4 position and rack up some more points for the Red Bulls. Agog in the Haas, again, also within the second range there. He's been kind of floating around that 7, maybe 8/10 range for the last few laps. It's, again, going to make a big difference for him just to get a good exit out of those final couple corners, 13 and 14. Get a good exit out of there. Maybe you have a little bit more grip on your tires. You're going to be able to make that move much easier coming through turn 1. But we'll go ahead and take a look at Clapjack, who has managed to fend off Born Ready and Damon, despite, it looks like Damon is really close up on the rear end there of Born Ready, and he's going to get the move done, both of which having DRS, but Damon gets it done. So he may have used a little bit of battery there, but he gets it done. He takes the inside, moves his way back around to the outside of the track, and he's going to get DRS once again, fending off Born Ready. Born Ready now finds himself in P3, so Johnny Damon is on the attack. He's trying to fight his way back into that DRS range of Captain Clapjack. It is going to be close. He's just under that second mark there. Do have another yellow flag. Looks like nothing serious. Again, Agog now does close down his gap to Peak Hour and P6. Just about half a second. He is losing quite a bit of time here in Sector 2 to Peak Hour, but he seems to be making it up in Sector 3 and Sector 1. So again, it's just kind of been yo-yoing back and forth between that, mid to high second differential here. It's sitting at about half a second currently. Take a quick look here at what I caught of Johnny Damon making that move. Looked like to me he just got a really great exit. Yeah, you got a great exit out of there. All over the back of Born Ready, and just all it takes is a little bit of that streamline and maybe a little bit of his battery there, but gets it done pretty easily. So coming up on, or we're just now starting lap 12, I'll take a quick look at where we stand in terms of tire usage here. So really we've only had, looks like we actually had a handful of guys pit. So pretty much P12 and down have pitted. Excuse me, they have not. It's just, they're just not crossing the line there. So it's really just it's Mike Gaudio in P12 who did put on the hards early, and AK who also put on the hards 4 laps later, both of which will be looking to extend those hards out for the remainder of the race, as we see Elon Rogan also hop on to set a hards here on lap 12. Elon Rogan is going to find himself pretty far behind here, but keep in mind he is done with his pits for the day, assuming no other intervention from any sort of safety car or any sort of wing damage that would require him to hop back in the pit lane there. Top 3 continue to just pace just a hair faster than the rest of the field. It's really not as far, not as big of a gap as you might think. We have Peak Hour taking a move on the inside of Agog, so he gets it done. There you have it. Agog's going to be looking to fight. He's going to peek onto the inside. Not going to quite go for it just yet. Might have been a bit aggressive there. Probably a smart move to go ahead and lay off for the time being. Maybe give it a shot here on the next lap. But Agog does get it, or excuse me, Peak Hour gets it done there. So Peak Hour now moves into P6. So we have some move from LK falling into the points here in P10. Makes his way past Optimus, who may have made a mistake there because he's now a whole second and a half behind. Quite a few penalties have racked up though. P10 and below, minus Elon Rogan, all are holding track penalties. So we'll see how that that affects their final position here at the end of the night. But as it stands, LK is now in the points. Dio now ahead of Optimus T-Time. T-Time now falling down the order. At the top of the field, we do have Clapjack hopping into the pit lane, as we also have Born Ready hopping in the pit lane. Late Bloomer and Damon, the two Williams, stay out, which is interesting. So if they both started on the same tires, which they did, they're both going to probably have to pit around the same time, so they're going to have to either double stack, which I highly doubt they're going to do, or one of them's going to have to stay out for an additional lap to avoid losing the time in the pit lane. So we do have another yellow flag. Not quite sure what that is. I think we're just getting yellow flags essentially when these guys are heading out of the pit lane. But Clapjack retains the lead coming out of the pits. He's going to be just about a second ahead of Born Ready. Born Ready does stay within DRS. Now it's really going to put some pressure here on the Williams boys. Johnny Damon, Late Bloomer. Late Bloomer only a second behind his teammate here. Both needing to pit in the next lap or two. We'll see which one goes in first and where that's going to leave them on the grid now that the other two podium contenders have finished up their pit stop for the night. Fortunately for Clapjack, he has clean road ahead of him. 10 seconds to Agog, who again has not pitted. No traffic to worry about. He's going to be able to warm these tires up pretty quickly and ideally maybe extend that gap from Johnny Damon by the time he gets out of the pit lane. That being said, the Williams stay out again. So Johnny Damon is going to either have to pit here on lap 15 or 16, and then of course leaves Late Bloomer to the other lap. But the earliest these two could get a pit stop completed would be 16. With the two of them. Again, unless there's some miscommunication here and they both go in and double stack, I don't think we're going to see that, though. Hopefully they have each other on Discord so they can discuss that strategy, but So there was some movement down in P9. Tiger Wood hit with another penalty. I believe that might be his second. Agog still right on the rear of Pikar, neither of which have pitted. I'll take a look here, see if either of them decide to go ahead and dive in here at the end of lap 15. Well, the question is Johnny Damon going to dive in? And no, he is not. Or excuse me, yes he is. Looked weird from that angle. And he's going to make a move past Tiger Wood, it looks like, in the pit lane. Nothing wrong with that. And Late Bloomer will be the one to stay out on the medium. So they do not double stack. But I am curious to see where this is going to leave Johnny Damon relative to Captain Clapjack and Born Ready. So here comes Born Ready. They are miles ahead there of Johnny Damon. So the undercut worked for the both of them there. Those hards certainly being warmed up. Their pace overall those last couple laps must have been tremendous compared to Johnny Damon, who now finds himself nearly 6 seconds behind. So waiting for those tires, waiting for that pit stop may have not paid off the way he thought it would. Only being 2, maybe 3 laps after Born Ready and Clapjack, which, yeah, it looks like about 2 laps, and then he's going to find himself 6 seconds behind. So he was pacing nearly 3 seconds slower on those used mediums. Does leave Late Bloomer out in the race lead currently, but Clapjack only 11 seconds behind, and make that 10. He's catching quickly. Late Bloomer will absolutely need to dive in the pits this lap to kind of avoid hemorrhaging any more time on these old tires. So we'll take a quick look here. Optimus Tea Time. On the intermediate tires. Maybe he's playing 4D chess, and it's actually going to start raining here in a minute, but the weather looks pretty clear to me. Clapjack and Born Ready hold very closely still. No major separation between the two, but Late Bloomer is going to go ahead and dive back out of the pits. Now about 4.5 seconds, it looks like, behind Johnny Damon. The pit strategy just doesn't seem to have paid off for the Williams. Johnny Damon's going to be looking to pick up the pace here once he warms these tires up, but he's actually fallen down a bit further since he had exited the pit lane. So he's going to have some work to do. 5.6 behind, but definitely going to hurt his chances here, waiting those extra 2 to 3 laps on the mediums. Born Ready seems to have no trouble right now staying behind Clapjack. But at the same time, we have seen Born Ready, it seems he is a little bit slower on the straights than Clapjack has shown with the DRS. But if there's any time to get a move done, it's going to be here. I mean, it's just about 1/4 of a second behind. Gets a good launch. Puts up the fastest lap at a 1:17.9. And he's going to go ahead and dive onto the inside there. Plenty of space to get the move done. Meanwhile, Johnny Damon actually puts up the fastest lap there, the 1:17 low. I didn't see the exact decimal there, but Johnny Damon has gotten those tires into operating range now. So he's going to be looking to cut down this 5-second gap. He's already moved up about 1/2 second closer to that P2 position, and he's going to be looking to keep cutting that down. Now these tires are probably feeling quite a bit better than they did cold off of the pit stop there. Take a quick look at the midfielders here. Dio about 1/2 second behind Agog. Pikauer now finding himself in P8. Not far behind though. And then a whole 10-second gap to Straggly Rex and another 10 seconds to LK. So the gaps are starting to form. Looks like Tea Time has found himself back in the pit lane, and he went ahead and put on the hard. So not quite sure, that must have just been a mistake. He's going to find himself quite far behind. Tiger Wood is actually another 37 seconds behind, but either way, Born Ready does put up another fastest lap there. We do have a yellow flag. It appears to be, it is Optimus Tea time. I believe he's getting out of the way. Must have been a blue flag. So Born Ready does hold that lead after making the move just a lap ago there over Clapjack. But the two are going to be neck and neck here throughout. There really has been no separation. Very, almost identical pace. And they're both just waiting for the other to potentially make a mistake. But it seems so far neither of them have any penalties. I'm not sure if they do have any warnings. I could take a quick look here. Just curious to see. Quite a few, but I'm not seeing either of our race leaders here. Clapjack does have one, it looks like. And there's quite a few. So, actually, and Born Ready did have one as well. So, both of them sitting on it, looks like just... Ooh, chair just almost broke there. Both of them looks like they're sitting on one track limit warning so far. Optimus Tea Time goes ahead and calls it a day. I think switching on to those intermediates may have just shot any and all odds of him putting up points today. Picard goes ahead. He makes the move around Dio around the outside, but he doesn't quite get the launch he might want. He's going to have a shot at the inside. He's going to take it, but he's not going to get the exit to get it done. So Picard does not get the move done. Pretty well fought there from Dio. Good defense. Not really too much he could do there on the inside line. It's really hard to get a quick exit, taking the apex that aggressively. Take a quick look at that one real quick. But as I was saying, Born Ready, Clapjack, both of which appearing to sit on only one warning. So as it stands, penalties aren't going to be a concern on lap 20 here. Only 15 to go. And if they keep this up, it's going to come down to who's going to have the battery and the DRS here late in the race to make the move. Because otherwise, I can't imagine that there's too much separating these two from their overall race pace. Clapjack gets the move done. Born Ready going to look to make the move again on the inside, but not quite enough on the exit there. Once again, these two have been the fighters of the day. Meanwhile, Picard does get a move done past Dio, so these two are fighting consistently as well. Dio does not get the DRS advantage there, so he's not going to have a chance to fight back just yet. Take a quick look at Late Bloomer. Very close behind Jazbo. Jazbo is sitting on a penalty, though, so as it stands, Late Bloomer will be looking to take that P4 position. Again, that'll be a great day. Oh, looks like we have someone plummeting down the table here. It was Agog. May have made a mistake. No visible damage on the car, but he fell down a couple places there, moving Dio and Peak Hour up into the P6 and P7 positions. But yeah, again, Late Bloomer looking to take that P4 position from Jazbo. Jazbo is going to have to contend with that penalty. Born Ready makes the move into turn 1. And our race leaders continue to fight it out. Absolutely zero give from either of them. But this could be a really good weekend for the Williams boys, given Late Bloomer does, in fact, get that move done into P4 with the benefit of the penalty as well. Meanwhile, the Kick Sauber of Born Ready looks to be like he's going to be the only one scoring points this week, unless we see a comeback of the ages from Tiger Wood. But Born Ready certainly has opportunity to get the fastest lap of the, or excuse me, get the win and potentially the fastest lap as well. Dio gets hit with another penalty, so we'll pull these up real quick. Matthew's up 5 positions here. LK up 2, Dio's up 4. Otherwise, everyone else remains pretty close to their starting position. AK is down 5, and he's got quite a bit of work there to find himself back into the points. But in terms of penalties here, so Dio actually is now at 9 seconds. So he's had 3 different sets of penalties there. That's going to put him back at least into potentially P10 with the 9-second penalty as it stands. Peak Hour is going to go ahead and give up the P6 position as it stands to Dio. Excuse me, not Dio, because Dio is also going to hit the penalty. It would be Agog. And then Jazbo. Just the 3 seconds. He is now beyond the DRS range of Late Bloomer. Looks like there is a move made there. Dio gets it done around peak hour into turn 1, and he's going to hold off for that P6 position. As it stands, it looks like he will get that done cleanly. So coming around into turn 13 and 14, Born Ready does hold the lead once again, but very close behind, as per usual. This race has been Clapjack here, now 3/10 behind, but he's going to be looking to make another move. On to lap 24, we're just now through about 2/3 of the race. Clapjack does get it done from the inside. We're going to see Born Ready try to attack once again. He does not get the DRS due to where that DRS activation zone is. And I'm just curious to see here. Just taking a look at their batteries to see where we're actually sitting, who's pushing this car harder than the other. And as per everything else that we've seen this afternoon, both are just about neck and neck in terms of their battery usage. So neither of which seems to be really pushing too hard. They don't need to at this point. Full 4.5 seconds up from Johnny Damon, who actually also has a pretty healthy battery as it stands. But neither of which seem to really need to utilize too much of that battery to stay in the fight for P1. So it's going to come down, again, to the last 3 or 4 laps here are going to be absolutely crucial in terms of when and how to deploy that ERS battery they've saved up thus far. Bloomer sitting at a pretty healthy battery as well. 0.8 behind Jazbo, who still holds that 3-second penalty. Out of all these guys in the midfield, though, I would say Agog has an excellent chance to move up in points here. On top of the penalties in front of him between Gaudio and Peak Hour, he is right in the mix to get a move done here beyond Peak Hour. And potentially Dio as well. He's going to kind of back out there, maybe let those two fight it out. Stay away from the penalties, stay away from any potential damage. He's going to go ahead and play pretty patiently, but Agog is sitting in a really good position here. Now Peak Hour with 6 seconds and Dio with 12. No need to be too aggressive here and risk anything unnecessary, given those positions will be essentially handed to him here. Keeping it clean through 25 laps. Late Bloomer probably in a pretty similar mindset to Agog here. Has kept it clean thus far. We're looking to make a clean move around Jazbo. Nothing too aggressive. No need to go do anything too risky here when you've got a driver ahead of you holding on to a 3-second penalty. And then beyond Jazbo is another 11 seconds to Johnny Damon. Meanwhile, Born Ready does get the move past Clapjack once again. Well, I'd move over, of course, right as a move over. Agog does get the move done past Dio. Dio hit with a 10-second penalty. He's going back into the pits, and he's going to DNF. So after 22 seconds of penalties, that was enough for him to go ahead and call it a day. But Born Ready does take the lead back from Clapjack. The back and forth as per usual. Clapjack holding it close, only about half a second behind. But the key to note here is that Johnny Damon has now cut the lead down to just over 3 seconds, just under 3 seconds now, after exiting the pits at about 5.6. So he has started to make some serious ground up here with 9 laps left. If he can keep this pace up, he has just as good of a shot as any to take this race win. But he's definitely going to be pushing this car to its limit. He's using his battery a little bit here on the straight, looking to get that move done. He has no threat behind him. He's got clean air in front of him, and it would seem that those tires are in a pretty good operating range as it stands. So I'll take a look. I'll keep in mind just what kind of lap times these guys are pacing to put it into perspective. Now, Johnny Damon has now fallen back below the 3-second mark with just under 8 laps to go. So Clapjack, Born Ready. Born Ready is using a little bit more of his battery come lap 27 here, but still nothing to be concerned about. He may have tried to get out of that DRS range once and for all, but just didn't quite work out for him, so he's going to go ahead and throw the battery back into medium. And Johnny Damon now 2.8 seconds behind. He finds his 4/10 there in Sector 2. So, for reference here, Born Ready, 1:18.7. And I just missed it on Johnny Damon. That goes to show just how close he is actually behind Clapjack there, but certainly faster than that 1:18.7. It would appear he went about 3/10 or so faster. I'd imagine it's about a 1:18.5, maybe 1:18.4 on those slightly fresher hard tires. All 3 of our podium sitters currently do not hold on to any penalties. May or may not be on 2 warnings though, so despite these guys wanting to push these cars as hard as possible to wrap this race up, we're going to have to be really careful because all it takes is 1 penalty and you are back into P3. So meanwhile, we do have Agog right up on the back of peak hour. Again, a 6-second penalty still. Agog's kept it clean. Took a look at the inside there. Pretty unconventional place at, looks like to be turn 5? I'm still actually, yeah, I think that is turn 5. I'm still just memorizing the turns here at Hungary. But still hasn't got done past peak hour. Doesn't really need to, but that being said, there's a 16-second gap beyond peak hour to late bloomer, so it'd be quite an ask for him to move up any further than P6 at this point in the race. Straggly Rex is sitting pretty comfortable in his current position at 8th. No threats behind him, no threats in front of him for that matter. Full 8 seconds behind Agog, but another 15 seconds plus penalties from LK behind him. So he's essentially running his own race here and looking to finish in the points. So Agog goes ahead and gets the move done. Picar's going to fight that, though. Picar looks like he's going to have the outside line. Agog doesn't quite want to give it up yet, but he's going to have no choice here without getting an exit out of turn 3. Turn 2. Maybe 3. I think that is 3. We have a DNF. I'm not sure. Must have been some instant. A caution does come out. It's Matthew in the Mercedes. Not sure. That might have been self-imposed. Looks like he's headed in the pit lane. So Matthew goes ahead and calls it a day as well. Looks like he just retired there in the pits, although maybe not. There is a Mercedes on track, it looks like. I'm not quite sure what's going on there. Either way, Matthew has now DNF'd. He is going to be out for the race along with the other 3 non-finishers tonight. Born Ready does climb his way out of that DRS range for the first time all race from Clapjack. Agog, again, fighting Picard. Picard's going to make what looks to be almost the same move as lap 29 there, but he doesn't quite get it done. Agog will finally get that past Picard there into P6, where he sits pretty comfortably with that 6-second penalty in mind on peak hour. But Born Ready now out of DRS as I say that. Captain Clapjack falls right back into that DRS zone, and it seems that every time I switch back and forth from these guys, they're fighting again. Agog, looks like he made a mistake. I'm not sure if there was contact made there, but he finds himself now 4 seconds behind peak hour, still within that penalty range. But winning on track is going to be a lot more difficult now that he's got 4 seconds to make up in just 4 laps. He'll be looking to just try to keep it under 6 seconds from this point on. So I'm not sure if there was a mistake made. Maybe he ran wide off one of the corners there. But it would appear his car is intact. No wing damage as far as the eye can tell. Now, Born Ready has taken off. Again, he's sitting at just over a second, and I can imagine he's going to be pushing that battery just a little bit here to try to get on with this, get ahead out of that DRS range, and wipe the sweat off his brow as Clapjack finally eases off the back of him, about 1.4 seconds back. Clapjack now not only having to worry about that 1.5-second gap to make up to Born Ready, but he has a Johnny Damon right behind him in P3, now 1.3 seconds. Johnny Damon now being closer to Clapjack than Clapjack is to Born Ready. So those tires just might be giving in on him now going on to lap 32 here. So we just might not see that photo finish we were projecting there earlier in the race. Born Ready has found some pace here late in the race. May have managed his tires there, certainly managed his battery, and has gone into a full attack mode here to take the race win. Johnny Damon now falls into that DRS range, just under a second here at 0.8. And we'll soon see Clapjack under attack for the P2 position. Meanwhile, all other battles on track have evolved into pretty wide gaps. There's really not too many others looking to make major movement here in the last couple laps. So we'll keep an eye on Damon and Clapjack, as the top 3 here are certainly the closest to be making any moves. Jasbo is close on the rear end of Late Bloomer, about 1.5 seconds there, but with the penalty in mind, there's not too much room for improvement on his end. But Clapjack continues to fall down even further from Born Ready, now almost about 1 second and 7/8 there. And Johnny Damon is going to be deploying some of his battery to get the move done here on lap 33. Doesn't quite get it done. That leaves Damon with about 25% battery. Does charge up quite quickly around Hungary. He's going to go ahead and take the inside here. Going around turn 2. I'm going to go ahead and slam the door on Clapjack to make any sort of move in defense there. And Johnny Damon now finds himself in P2. And with all the fighting, Born Ready is now 2.5 seconds ahead of Damon. Born Ready is just 2 laps, 2 pretty straightforward laps here away from taking the race win by quite a margin. Can Damon catch up? Those 2 seconds here in 2 laps around Hungary, one of the shorter tracks of the year, would be certainly an accomplishment without Born Ready making any sort of mistakes or picking up any penalties. So we'll keep an eye on these guys. Clapjack's not out of the picture yet. He had lost a little bit of pace there in the final 5 laps or so, but he's sitting on a healthy amount of battery, and he's going to have some chances here to tack on Johnny Damon once again and maybe take back that P2 position. So here we go on the penultimate lap. Clapjack now is going to take a look at making a move, but not just yet. I imagine he's going to want to maybe save that battery for the final lap to prevent Damon from making any moves back around the track in the DRS zone, which appears to be exactly what he's doing. Meanwhile, Damon is sitting a bit lower in the battery, just now under 10%. The battery really starts to fall off in the single digits, and he is on full hot lap mode currently. Meanwhile, we do have Clapjack sitting on medium with a very, very almost fully charged battery with a lap to go. So we'll take a look at the onboard here as we make our way around on the penultimate lap. Clapjack's going to need a really good exit here onto the start-finish straight here to get the move done. Sitting on a ton of battery. Damon's going to be at 25%. Clapjack at a full 90%. He's going to dump, but I don't know if he got a good enough exit there to get the move done. He's coming up very, very fast. He's going to dive onto the inside. Just a little bit of room there, and should be enough to get it done. He's going to get the DRS advantage on the last DRS zone of the race. And he's absolutely flying into turn 2 here. Around the outside he goes. And Clapjack is back into P1. He gets the move done. It's certainly not over yet. There is certainly room for mistakes. Johnny Damon could take the position back, but it is going to be an uphill battle. Given there are no more DRS zones left on track. Damon's sitting at 19% on the battery. No other great opportunities for an overtake here without any mistake from Clapjack. Unless he goes for a dive here, I don't think he's going to have enough space. Drivers are keeping it clean. Damon really close on the rear end of Clapjack here. Around the corner comes Born Ready. He gets it done cleanly, about a second and a half ahead. Clapjack does indeed finish P2 by just 0.3 of a second there. Next we have Late Bloomer, just missing out on a podium here, but still a great overall drive for the Williams. Although Late Bloomer is going to let Jazzbo by. Won't matter with the penalty, but either way, Late Bloomer comes across 4th, Jazzbo in 5th. Shortly behind him, we have Peak Hour, who's another about 15 seconds or so behind. Does have 2 penalties he picked up earlier in the race. Shouldn't matter with that 7-second gap to Agog. He's going to go ahead and take P6. Agog in P7. Celebratory crash into the pit lane wall there for Agog in the Haas. Straggly Rex comes across to P8. And then it'll be LK and Elon Rogan will be the final 2 guys to put up some points here this afternoon. Quick replay here. So this is Clapjack defending that, or excuse me, attacking on the last lap here, making the move around the outside of turn 2 to claim those extra points for the P2 position. But Born Ready gets it done. Born Ready gets it done, and Johnny Damon, after being behind by almost 6 seconds, makes a fight there for P2. So excellent race from all 3 of those top 3 drivers there. Pretty fun one to watch. Again, really difficult to overtake here, so we saw quite a bit of action given the circumstances. And Born Ready will extend his lead. Johnny Damon's streak has come to an end here in Hungary. It's been a fun one to commentate, guys. I will be out next week. I'm actually going to be out of town, so I don't know if there'll be a stream, but either way, I'll quick review the calendar coming up. So we actually, we have, let's see here, we have Spa, which will be round 11. That's going to be next week. Again, I won't be here for that, which is unfortunate because I absolutely love Spa. And then the week I'll be back, which will be the 29th. that will be in the Netherlands. So Netherlands actually pretty similar track to Hungary. Pretty difficult to overtake, but it's a fun one to drive. And I'll be excited to commentate that for you guys. Otherwise, though, congrats again to Born Ready. Looks like he took the fastest lap as well. He'll be putting up another 26 points to his already large lead. And congrats to the other podium finishers of Captain Clapjack and Johnny Damon. I will catch you guys in a couple weeks.